Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt and welcome to the New Brick Workshop. I've now bought what I now consider to be my final piece of cordless garden machinery. I know in my last video about Stihl equipment I said I'd done that, but I couldn't resist this cordless strimmer. It's the FSA60R. I already have the AK batteries from the Stihl AK range, and so I bought this bare machine. I bought it on the internet. I paid the full price from a company called Winchester Garden Machinery, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. Perhaps I ought to start in the workshop and when I unpacked it. Now, when you take it out of the box, you've got the machine itself. Bear in mind, this is the bare stripped down version. There's no battery and there's no charger. So you get the bare machine, you get this deflector or sort of safety cover that goes over the bottom end. You get this additional part that fixes onto there for helping you gauge the strimming around trees and so on. There's a handle which has to be fixed on, various bits and pieces to fix that handle on and to fix the deflector on. You have an instruction manual which is in several languages, including English of course, and really importantly you've got a pair of safety glasses. Now, with almost all garden machinery you should be wearing safety glasses just in case. And before I go any further, I want to draw your attention to the build quality. You can just by touching it feel that it's made out of really good quality plastic. And this is the operational head end, and that is beautifully made. It really is a good bit of kit. Now, you may remember that I went to the BBC Gardeners World show at Bewley earlier this year, and that's where I identified my hedge trimmer, which I've made a video about. Good bit of kit. And I did see this, and I wasn't sure whether I would buy one at the time. One has to spread one's purchases out a little bit these days. But anyway, I've made that decision now. And again, I've gone for Winchester Garden Machinery. They were the best price on the internet, and they do fast, free delivery. So it's a no-brainer, really. Now, the manual is very well written, and so if in my little assembly section now I miss anything out, you'll definitely be able to find it in the manual. Now, the first thing to assemble is this part here, which is the bump guard, and on the side of the machine here and here there are a pair of holes, and you just move this apart and then feed both ends into the holes. And if you've got it correctly mounted, you'll find that the sides fit into a little recess here and here, and that then makes that quite secure. Now, fitting the guard is very simple. Turn the machine upside down as you see it now, and we're going to start by pushing the guard in like so, and it fits neatly underneath these two little prongs that stick out, and these wings go under there like so. Now, when you unwrap all of the various nuts and bolts and brackets and things, you'll come across this little brochure. It tells you all about the cutter head here. Keep this because there's a diagram and some instructions that tells you how to put new line on here. And it's the sort of thing that if you forgot about it at the very beginning, you go through at least one season with what they supply, and then when you run out in the next season, you've forgotten how it should be done. So hang on to that, it's very useful. Now, I do need to point out that this little part of the guard, it's an automatic cutting mechanism. As the line is advanced, it cuts it to length by spinning it, and it hits there. That's not excessively sharp, but it's sharp enough if you were careless that you could cut yourself. It's a vital piece, do not remove it. Now, there are two types of screws supplied. One is a self-tapper, it's the shorter of the two, and the other is a machined screw here. For fixing this cutter guard on, we're going to use the short self-tappers, and they will go in into the hole here. One in like so, and the other one in like so. If you look carefully at the tool, these screws have a star-shaped recess, and there's a star-shaped little end to this spanner, and that's what we're going to use to get these in. Now, as these are self-tappers, they're actually making their own threaded entry into the orange plastic. And the only thing you've got to watch is you don't over-tighten, because that could cause the plastic to be stripped and the screw would then have no holding power. So just tighten them up so that's nice and firm. Now, I think you probably know me from previous tools I've assembled. When you have a clamping arrangement going onto a shaft like this, I put a little bit of green baize stuck on the inside of the clamps, and that helps to stop scratching on here. You don't really need to worry about that, but I'm funny like that. If I want to move the handle, I don't want to leave a scratch mark behind. Now, here's the machine, and this is where the handle is going to go. I'm not quite sure the exact position. That is to be determined. And what we're going to do is to take one of these little brackets and put it through there. The other one's going to go on the other side, and we're going to put the screws all the way through from the top, and they've each got a washer on at this stage, and then just rotate it for now to make it easier. We're going to turn it back again in a second, and then put the nuts on the end and tighten up best you can with your finger. We'll use the tool in a minute to tighten up all the way. There's one, and there's the other, on like so. Once that's finger tight, you can then rotate that. Now, I'm not sure where this needs to go until I pick it up with a battery in the machine. So again, with the tool, we're going to now tighten this up. If you hold the nut with your finger, it won't move, and then that allows you to tighten it up. Now, I've not tightened it up particularly tightly because, as I say, until I put the battery in and feel the way the machine is, I don't know exactly where I want the handle to be. Now, I've finished the assembly, but I thought I'd just show you how to put new cord on here. There's a big nut here which you can undo. You undo it all the way, and eventually this will pop out. Now, note that the string goes through holes in the receptor there. If you're taking this out, put your fingers round so the string doesn't unwrap. And if you look really closely, you'll see an arrow there and an arrow there. And that arrow goes that way, and that arrow goes that way. Now, that, to me, seems to be the wrong way round. The reason is because the string is wound that way, the opposite way to the arrow. But then maybe the arrow indicates the direction the string unwinds. I don't know. But just take a note of that and remember that the string is wound in the opposite direction to that arrow. At least that's how mine came out from the packaging. Inside here, you'll see a spring. This whole part will come out, and there's a big nut there, and when this goes back on, it sets itself down on that nut. Now, putting this back in is a work of art. You've got to make sure that both bits of string go through their respective holes, like so. And then you lower it down and keep your fingers crossed that it doesn't all unwind. And then pulling on the string so that it's obviously not caught under the mechanism anyway, you then push it down like so and retighten this nut. And tighten it up finger tight. Now, in use, what happens is, in order to make the string advance, you tap the end down on the ground, and I'll show this in a minute, and that then releases a bit more string, and then it's cut to length as it spins round on this cutter, and that's how it works. And this string is 2 millimeters in diameter, so if you want to go and buy some, go to Screwfix, probably is the easiest for most people. It's 2 millimeter string, and Screwfix actually sell Stihl string. So there we go. That's it. All we've got to do now is take it outside and give it a go. And remember, it's absolutely essential that you wear safety glasses when you're using a tool like this. Now, the reason I've stuck with Stihl is that it's all about batteries. With any cordless tools, whether it's for the garden, for the workshop, wherever else it might be, try and buy into a range. That way, you only need to buy 1 or 2 batteries and no more, because they are interchangeable. And that's true with the AK range that I've bought into of Stihl. Now, this is very simple to use. Insert the battery, and there's a pretty foolproof trigger mechanism here. Squeeze the trigger and away you go. Now, I will show you how you advance the line whilst I do the next demo. It's a question of just tapping the machine down onto its nose and the line automatically advances. There you saw me tap it then, and the line advanced, and you probably heard it clipping it off as the line advances, so it gets longer, and then it's automatically cut off to length with a little sharp blade here. Now, if you're cutting close to a tree or something precious, then this little extended piece of metal here will give you an indication not to go any further, and it will protect the plants that you're strimming close to. And strimming along the edge of a path is very straightforward. And the strimmer can be used from some pretty tough tasks. Well, that's it for this demonstration of this Stihl strimmer. It's an excellent piece of kit. About £150 I paid for it, and I paid the full price, remember. Many thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.